the one, the only Benzion. Good morning and welcome to Yeshiva YouTube, Iyun with Benzion. Today we're doing Masechah Sotah, Daf Chaf number 20. I want to start with the Mishnah over here on the Chaf and Aleph. The Mishnah opens up, Ad Shelo Nimcha Megillah, before the Megillah, the Parsha Sotah is erased in the water. Amra Any shows that she's not going to drink. She's basically admitting she's Tmeya. Megillah and Ignezes. So the scroll that you wrote the Shem Hashem on, before it was put in the water, you put it in Geniza. You have to put it away, you have to bury it as the Shem Hashem. Minchasa mispazeres al Adesh, and the Kar Mincha is burnt on the Trumas Adesh. Vein Megillah Sakshir lahashkus pas Sotah acheres. And the Megillah, the Sotah, you can't use for a different lady. Now, it's sort of a repetition, this third line, because we just said you put it in Geniza. Once you put it in Geniza, you're not going to use it for a different Sotah. So what is the Mishnah adding over here? Megillah Sakshir lahashkus Sotah acheres. Right? So you could say, really, it's just telling you the reason you put it in Geniza, because you can't use it for someone else. Right? But it seems to be there's two different halachas. It's sort of not necessary. Now, the Gemara on Chaf Amud Beis records machlokes, machlokes in the Brisa, about 4 lines down on Chaf Amud Beis. Tanya, Tana Kama, this Brisa hold, you can't use her Megillah Sotah that was written for one woman for a different woman. You could use it. So the Gemara asks on the second opinion, what according to Rabbi Yoshia, how could that be? We know by Gittin it says la, right? Kasav la, it has to be for a woman. If I write a get for one woman, right? Another person in my city can't use it for his wife, even though his name is the same as my name and his wife is the same name as my wife. There's no problem. It's just the kasav la. It has to be lishma. It has to be written expressly for this woman. It wasn't written. It was written for a different woman. By Sotah also, it says v'asala, right? It has to be for her. So the Gemara here, Yosha answers, ma'asiya mechika, before the 2 dots. He says, yes, it's true, v'asala, it has to be done for one Sotah. All that means to say is that when you erase the scroll into the water, once you do that, then you can't use it for a different woman. But before you did that, if it was just written and not yet erased into the water, then you could, according to Rabbi Yoshia, use it for a different lady. Now, we don't paskin Rabbi Yoshia, we paskin like the Tana Kama, that even if you just write it without erasing it into the water, you can't use it for a different woman. However, I'm still bothered by the Mishnah. The Mishnah is according to the Tana Kama. It seems to be the accepted opinion. Why is it repeated, this fact repeated? And also, there is a difference. Rabbi Yosha is correct. It doesn't say the same word, the cost of law, v'asala. It doesn't say the cost of law. It says v'asala, which seems to indicate something different than the ksiva. Right? If it meant to say exactly like get, that if you write a Megillah Sotah for one woman, you can't use it for a different one, it should have said the cost of law. Right? It said the word law not by the asiya, but by the ksiva. So inherently you have to deal with the contradiction from the words of the Torah. Therefore, I would like to suggest the following. What is the idea? We'll get into this Masechah Gittin. I believe it's the next Masechah in Daf Yomi. This is one of the main halachas in Gittin. It has to be written expressly for this woman. If it's written for a different woman, if it's written for one woman, you want to use it for a different woman, you change your mind, you don't want to get divorced, then a different man wants to use it for his wife, the same city, same names, you can't do it. Cost of law. Now, we have a mitzvah also by lishma, by mitzvos, right? The matzah has to be done lishma, and also mitzvos, shrichas kavana. So, the classical way to understand these things is that I have to have in mind, I think maybe, I'm doing this mitzvah lishma, or making this matzah l'shem mitzvah, matzah's mitzvah for the first night of Pesach, or right, and by get I have to have in mind when I tell the scribe to write the get, do it for my wife. It's a din in the das, in the mental. There has to be a mental connection between my writing of the get and what I intended to write it for. Right, it can only be used the person I intended it. It has to do with your connection between the mental aspect and the physical action. The writing has to be done with the intention of a mental action. The mental action was for this woman. You can't use a different woman. Right? If I have a mental knowledge that I'm doing it for this mitzvah, so then it's good. If I don't have mental knowledge, then not, right? And for Shem Ramatzah's mitzvah, I have to have intention, conscious intention. But I don't believe that any of the halachas in the Torah have to do with your mind. I believe the mind and the body are 2 different realms. The mind is the way to get to the mitzvahs. It's free will. It's what everyone's born with, even if you're born to a non-Jewish family. And free will has nothing to do necessarily with the Torah. It's about doing the right thing, making the right decisions, the right choices. So I don't believe that any of the halachas in the Torah talks about enjoying this world. That's the real objective of the Torah. It can't be connected to your thoughts. There's no connection. Your thoughts can have an effect on a mitzvah. I don't believe the mind and body are totally different, right? Free will, I believe you have the ability to make decisions. Your decisions can't affect your actions. I don't believe, right? The world is scripted. Your actions are scripted. If you choose to do something different, right, than the script of the world, Hashem will put another thought into your mind, so you'll fit into the script. But all you can control is your decisions, not actually not actually doing the actions based on your decisions. The actions are up to God, basically. So I believe the Torah is not concerned with your intentions. So when the Torah says that mitzvah shrichas kavana, what does that mean? Like the poskim say that if I go into shul on Rosh Hashanah and they're blowing shofar, right, I don't have to think that I'm doing it l'shem mitzvah. Why are you sitting in shul on Shabbat? It's the umdana, the situation tells me there's a proximity between me and the mitzvah, right? I go to shul on Rosh Hashanah. Obviously, I'm doing it l'shem mitzvah. The fact that I'm in the minyan over there, proximity, right? If I walk past the shul and they're blowing shofar and I stop, chavin daita, the fact that I stopped shows that I'm connecting myself to the mitzvah. It's not about your thoughts, whether you think that or not. It's about your proximity and the position of your body. That's really what it is. Your body connects you to the mitzvah. And the same thing, the ksiva for a specific woman, right? Writing a certain get for a woman, it's either the husband himself writes the get, or he tells the scribe to write the get, and he's doing it in the proximity of a certain woman or in a certain situation for a certain husband. So the fact that it's written by the husband of this wife, so that connects it to the wife. Therefore, another husband can't use it as a wife because there's no connection between the ksiva and the woman. They're not connected anymore. So it's about the physical connection, the proximity, or at least the physical stance which connects the two. And that's what the Shema really means. And by Sotah, it's a little different, because by Sotah, right, it says V'asalah, right? The real point of Sotah is the drinking of the waters, right? The ksiva, right, by a get, you're megarisher with the actual words of the ksiva, Sefer Krisos. By Sotah, it's the Meis Sotah, part of it is to write a parchment and to put it in the water. It really is the water with dirt and with something bitter. And also the Shem Hashem that's erased in it. It's part of it. It's a hechsher mitzvah. It's not exactly the entire. The ksiva is not the main thing. The main thing is the asa, is the drinking of the water, the main mara. That's really what the main thing is. So therefore, when the Torah says v'asalah, you can't disregard what the Torah says. Of course, Riyach Yoshia says you could use it for a different lady, but there's a disconnect. It doesn't, right? So he's right. It says v'asalah. And technically, if I just write a Megillah, that's not the essential part of the mitzvah. The essential part of the mitzvah is the drinking of the water. So if I write a Megillah for one lady, I should be able to use it for a different lady. However, the fact that the Torah says v'asalah tells me that the entire procedure has to be done for one lady. If I just write a Megillah and I didn't use it yet, maybe I could use it for differently. And that's what the Mishnah on Daf Chaf Ben Aleph is basically telling you, I think, that if it's written for one lady, it wasn't used at all, really it's nignezah, it's pernin geniza. And it says, ein kasher lahashkos ba sotar acher. What does it mean, kasher? I think, b'diavad, if you use it for a different woman, it would work. Even when we don't pass Riyach Yoshia. Yeah, the Tanna Kama has to use the pasuk v'asalah. It would work, because the main thing, if I make the waters of Sotah and I make it for one woman, it's already made for one woman. So therefore, there's a proximity between the physical drink, which is the main part of the mitzvah, and this woman. I can't use it for a different woman. But the ksiva is just a hechsher mitzvah. So technically, b'diavad, if I use it for a different lady, I could use it for a different lady. It would work b'diavad, meaning it would exempt her. It wouldn't affect, if she was guilty, it wouldn't affect the punishment on her, but she would not have to drink again. Like we said, you don't make her drink again. So that's really what the Mishnah is telling you. First, you put it in geniza, you bury it. And when the Mishnah continues, it's not kasha ashko sotar. It's telling you that, yes, you're not supposed to use it for a different lady, but technically it would work b'diavad. B'diavad it would work, because the ksiva itself, there's no, ksiva lishma, it's really the asiyah lishma. You don't have a complete asiyah lishma. It wasn't erased in the water yet, so it would work, meaning she wouldn't have to drink again. But however, it wouldn't be kosher to affect the punishment of Sotah. That's what I believe the true halacha should be. I hope you enjoyed today's shir. See you in the next one.